Hello, Calvary family. As some of you may know, Pearl and I agreed many years ago that neither of us wanted a funeral service when we graduated to heaven. Graduation is a happy occasion and celebration is in order. Pearl graduated officially on Saturday, July 22nd, and we celebrated that on August 12th here in Gulf Shores. Gulf Shores, Alabama, the location of our daughter's wedding a year and a half ago. The outpouring of love, prayers, and concern from you guys, the moment that you heard Pearl was in the hospital yet again, was overwhelming. It lifted my heart and the hearts of my daughters while we kept vigil by Pearl's side for 3 rough days. It has continued even through today as I'm receiving encouraging comments and cards and on Facebook. Pastor Mounts, Jay Faulkner, the entire staff has been so kind and gracious. Thank you for allowing Pearl's friends and fellow workers to celebrate her memory there. Our home for over 25 years and her workplace for over 22 years. Kathy Ash, B. Lovins, the Berean class, you guys orchestrated this event, and my whole family deeply appreciates your love for Pearl. One of the things I planned to do when I got here to the town of Foley, Alabama, a few miles north of the Gulf, was to drive a school bus, something I did for 10 years in Kenton County. I was hired to drive for Foley High School, where my nephew still goes to school, and just a few minutes from our home. School just started Monday the 21st, which is why I couldn't be with you today in person. Pearl's younger sister Caroline and her awesome husband Steve Mann are there today to love on you the same way Pearl and I would be if we were there with you. Mom and Dad Phillips are there too, and my nephew Philip, perhaps other family. I'm going to share the tribute for Pearl that I wrote here, and I hope it will encourage you. I express myself more clearly when I write down my thoughts. I've got at least one daughter who does the same thing, Brittany. That way I can edit my words and cross out things that might be confusing or confrontational. I'll leave that for my Facebook postings. I'm recording this so anyone listening will not have to hear my uncontrolled sobs and wails that overtake me when I'm alone and catch sight of something that reminds me of Pearl. As of right now, everything I see reminds me of Pearl. Her clothes, her shower soaps, her neatly staged shelves and drawers, every curtain and rug and towel, every pot and pan, especially the coffee pot, and notebooks. The only place in the whole house that she mostly avoided was the garage. That's my domain, except for her car taking up half of my space. How do I adequately summarize 42 years with the love of my life? First, just an acquaintance, then fellow concert choir member in college, dating partner of 2 of my college roommates, thanks Brad and Mike, too much woman to expect to ever date but somehow pulled it off, friend, off-campus friend, close enough to campus to share peanut butter sandwiches and not have to call it a date because then you needed permission. Steady date in my senior year of college, fiance, wife, lover. I'll smile at that one. And to quote my students at Gateway Community College, my baby's mama. Partner, best friend, fellow wage earner, and in recent days, fellow Social Security recipient, and fellow adventurer. Our recent sale of our home after 25 years, 12 months in a small apartment, a more recent purchase of a home we'll never pay off here in Alabama, all was a grand adventure. The 35 days we spent together in our new home were filled with making preparations for all of our kids and grandkids to visit. I'm pretty sure this was not the way she hoped to pull that off, but that was the whole point of this adventure. And I welcomed the kids and I welcomed the grandkids and said, your mother and grandmother loves you more than you'll ever know. You know a little bit, but I know the whole story. She would have loved having all of you here all of the time. Pearl was not ordinary. She was exceedingly abundantly above what I could ever ask or think. Someone recently asked me Pearl's favorite Bible verse, and I think I gave an answer, but honestly, I don't know. Because it was whichever verse or chapter or book of the Bible she was reading at that moment. And she was always reading it. She rarely read one verse. She would often say, "David, listen to this verse." And then off to the races. She'd read verse after verse, chapter after chapter, and every time she would have discovered something totally different than what we've always been told it was saying, but she wanted me to hear what it really was saying. She would spend hours researching and cross-referencing and fact-checking and word analysis until she had gleaned every nugget of truth from what she was reading. She was very discontent with Christian cliches, with Christian made-up words and made-up doctrines. And when she made mind-blowing discoveries, she couldn't wait to tell me, then her daughters, then her friends, then people she met in the grocery store. One example is her discovery of the meaning of the words translated "help meet" in Genesis. We've been taught to say "suitable helper" for Adam, the ruler of the Garden of Eden, when in reality it means strong warrior, someone of equal strength and power. Adam and Eve were each other's strong warriors, a blessed alliance. Each one was given exactly the same tasks by their Creator. She read every passage that used those same words, read every commentary she could find, and numerous books on the subject, searching to know the truth and wondering why no pastor nor seminary teacher had bothered to point out the true meaning of those words. I benefited in many ways from that discovery. She truly was my strong warrior, my blessed alliance partner. Plus, I got to read all the books too. Well, more accurately, I listened as she would read the books to me. Every new book she read, I discovered too in this same way. The last book she was reading to me, in fact, it's still in a Ziploc bag in our beach bag, was the life story of Chip and Joanne Gaines, the Magnolia Story. And she was convinced that her brilliant son-in-law Eric and her daughter Brittany were exactly like Chip and Joanne. We visited the beach about 8 times in those 35 days. Every time we would sit under the umbrella after playing in the waves, and she would read and reread the chapters of the Magnolia Story to me. Oh, how I wish I could hear how that book ends. I believe the way she would want it to end is for Eric and Brittany to become Chip and Joanne. Don't worry, kids. She had similar aspirations for all of you. Those last few lines that I wrote there took about 30 minutes to write. I had to wait till my eyes adjusted from the gut-wrenching sobs. My strong warrior is now at rest, but my internal strong warrior is still there. Pearl didn't enjoy funerals. She begged me to never have her funeral. She thought they were morbid and sorrowful. She wanted people to celebrate with her. She's no longer in pain. She knew where she was headed. How could you not rejoice? Thank you, God, for Pearl. She had many friends and confidants, co-workers, and loved ones, but I was her husband for almost 42 years. I want to read a card from my Aunt Gay that sums up all the wonderful sentiments that have been expressed to me and our family. My Aunt Gay lost her husband, my Uncle Milton, to a heart attack just days after they made a major move from northern Kentucky to Arizona when my uncle was only 33 years old. She was left with 3 young children and no insurance as he had just changed jobs and policies. She survived, her kids are grown, and she offers words from experience. Here's the card. It says, "Celebrate your memories, and in those memories may you find comfort. Our loved ones are a gift to us. Their presence a blessing when they are on this earth. After they have gone, we mourn, and then we celebrate the life they lived. the love they shared, the difference they made for having been in our lives. Thinking of you at this difficult time, lots of love and prayers, David and Gay. Celebrate your memories of Pearl, and in those moments, may you find comfort.